Hello book nerds, welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim and this is the mid-year check-in tag. Hello everyone, I was tagged by Jackie at Jackie's Literary Corner. Make sure to check out her channel. She does some great talks about her favorite books and current reads. She tagged me in this lovely video, so let's get started. Our first question is, the best book you've read so far? And I'm assuming it's so far this year. I think the best book that I've read so far this year is The Troop. The Troop by Nick Cutter. It's a monster story. It's a terrifying monster story. Someone is infected by something terrible that makes them need to eat and eat and eat until their insides have exploded, but they still have to eat until their body has consumed itself. They still have to eat. And it's about a group of Boy Scouts on an island who are placed in quarantine with this thing. And it was a fantastic book. That's gonna be the answer to question number one. Number two, the best sequel you've read so far this year. I don't know if I've read a lot of sequels this year. I'm just gonna check my good old Goodreads. I guess Lasher, that's a sequel. What else is a sequel? Kind of The Bookwoman's Daughter, that's a standalone and a sequel. I did read that very recently, actually. As far as other Otakoi, Volume 2. Oh, Terra Destra, Book 2. That was a sequel. Same with Diseased Intentions. Look at me, I read more sequels than I thought. Diseased Intentions was a sequel. I feel like I'm gonna have to say the best sequel I've read so far this year is Love is Hard for Nataku, Volume 2. And that's only because it's lighthearted and fun and nerdy. It's a great read. Close seconds are Diseased Intentions and also Terra Destra. Those two books were phenomenal, and I highly recommend you pick them up. Number three. New release you haven't read yet, but want to. Oh, that's the new Grady Hendrix book. The haunted one. How to Sell a Haunted House. Ha, I got it. It's sitting on this bookshelf just over my shoulder waiting for me. Next, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Stephen King's book. Oh, that was an easy question. Oh, what's it called? Oh, it goes along with The Outsider, and it goes along with Mr. Mercedes. Oh, Holly. It's called Holly. Wow, I need some caffeine. Holly by Stephen King. Biggest disappointment this year so far. What book did I give the least amount of stars to? Because I feel like that will be the biggest disappointment. I'm gonna have to go with Shadow and Bone. Yeah, I give that one a 3-star. Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. Bad with names, I am so sorry. That one I gave a 3 out of 5, and I only did it because this first book just didn't have a lot of pizzazz. They try to make the Darkling out to be this terrifying big bad, but he just didn't strike me that way. And I feel like if he had been a darker villain, that book would have gripped me more. It was still a good book, and I have every intention of reading the rest of them. But that villain, that Darkling, we'll see what the next books do. But as far as this first installment in the trilogy, it was disappointing. My biggest surprise of the year. I think I'm gonna go with the Mayfair Witches trilogy. I've only read the first 2 books. I've read The Witching Hour and Lasher, and these are by Anne Rice. I picked them up without really knowing what I was getting into. I only had a very vague idea as to what they were about. I didn't, in fact, actually realize they were related in a trilogy. I was gonna read Lasher first, and then I figured, oh, it's a whole trilogy. Good thing I've got them all. So that's the biggest surprise this year so far. That book was surprisingly gripping in typical Anne Rice style. She has just created this huge world and this massive heritage and legacy. And it's a great story. That. Favorite new author, debut or new to me? We are going to go with Bianca Maris, am I saying that right? She wrote The Witches of Moonshine Manor. That book was amazing. I loved how it was written, and I really want to read more by her. She wins this question. Newest fictional crush. I think my new fictional crush is from Terra Destra by MTG Books. I don't know how to pronounce this character's name. MTG, if you're watching, if you could maybe give us some phonetics in the comments. It's spelled D-A-O-U-D. Dowd? I don't know. Him. He's a great character. He's a dark and twisty guy. He is very much a monster. But as the story goes, he sort of changes. He's like an anti-hero, and I am a sucker for a good anti-hero. Newest favorite character. Oh, Nina Hill from The Bookish Life of Nina Hill. I love her. She's sarcastic and anxious and a bookworm. Everything that comes out of her mouth was amazing. She's a great character. A book that made me cry. Well, it didn't make me cry, but it was sure sad. That would be The Warsaw Orphans. That book is a heavy book. It's very heavy. It's about the Second World War and the ghettos in Warsaw. And it follows some families as they go through trials and tribulations of the worst kind. A book that made me happy. Oh, there's a few. I'm gonna have to pick one, and that's a challenge. Goodreads, what do you have for me? A book that made me happy. Oh, Dear Fahrenheit 451, Love and Heartbreak in the Stacks by Annie Spence. That book made me happy, all sorts of happy. It's a librarian who writes a series of essays and love letters and farewells to books that she is either owns or she's taking away from the library's collection or she just likes. And she has a crap ton of recommendations in the second half of the book also. Everything about that book made me happy. Okay, that's it. That's it for the mid-year check-in tag. If you are watching this video, consider yourself tagged. If you do this tag, please mention me in your description at Bookshelf Bunny so that I know to watch your video. Thanks again, Jackie, over at Jackie's Literary Corner for tagging me. I had a lot of fun with this one. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you read any of the books I have mentioned here today? And if so, what were your thoughts? Okay, book nerds, as always, happy reading.